Walking around the Appalachian wasteland, you may have noticed the flying drones in the sky, the Vertibots. Undoubtedly, you would have noticed them escorting cargo bots if you had finished the main quest to launch the nuke on the Scorch Beasts. A question that's plagued me since I first saw them was, who or what is controlling them and where are they coming from? The first thought would be that Modus is responsible for the Vertibots. It makes sense, the Enclave is closely linked to the nuclear silos, and Modus can actually control Vertibots. However, it can't be Modus, at least not for all of them. Otherwise, he would certainly just command the cargo bots to drop off the silo keycards on his doorstep, when in reality the Enclave had to go hunting for a keycard. There's also the fact that there's no evidence indicating the White Springs bunker is capable of producing Vertibots. And there's no launch bays to be seen either, so it seems the Vertibots are being manufactured elsewhere, but Modus has the ability to take control of some, or he has the ability to request some. There's no place in Appalachia that seems to have the ability to produce Vertibots, so it's safe to assume they're coming in from outside Appalachia. The facility that produces them would likely be a military installation. The Vertibots are military aircraft and are fully equipped for duty. The presence of nuclear keycards also indicates the requirement for the deployment point being a secure installation. To produce this many Vertibots and cargo bots, the facility would have to be quite large and have substantial production capabilities. The fact that this facility still operates decades after the war indicates that it was protected from the initial blasts, potentially being an underground complex like the automated silos. However, unlike the automated silos, it has not only extensive production capabilities, but full coordination and strategic use of the drones. Not only do the drones patrol the area, they survey the region, and specific strategic air command drones escort nuclear keycards. This indicates the presence of a higher intelligence and clearance level above mere automated production. Let's recap the facts. The facility producing the drones is most likely a military installation, underground, close to Appalachia, and has significant production capabilities. It's also likely to be manned by humans, or at least intelligent machines with high clearance levels, enough to deploy nuclear keycards. Of course, it could just be any random installation we don't know of yet, but there is one facility that we do know of that fits all the criteria. I am of course talking about Raven Rock. It fits all the parameters. Raven Rock is a military installation that is underground and relatively close to Appalachia. We know that it can produce vertibirds, and at the moment we don't know if there are any humans at Raven Rock, but I think it's safe to assume there would be. Even if there isn't, there's still Eden, or just Zax, as he wouldn't be Eden yet. Raven Rock would act as the command center of the military in case of nuclear war, essentially the Pentagon for use during nuclear war, so suffice to say, Raven Rock would have clearance to produce nuclear keycards. Going off Raven Rock's capabilities, Mount Weather may also be a possibility, but there's no information about it, so we'll stick to Site R for the moment. The question now is, why are they still sending drones to Appalachia? Well, I believe it comes down to the White Spring being cut off from the rest of the Enclave. It seems that in the ideal outcome, Raven Rock would send nuclear keycards to Appalachia, then the President would order a nuclear strike from his post at Mount Weather, or I guess Control Station Enclave, as that was the safer location. Then the Secretary of Defense would confirm the launch from his post at the White Springs bunker. Then the nukes would be launched from the automated silos in Appalachia, allowing the Enclave to continually launch nukes on China or anywhere else. However, things don't always go to plan. The communication lines were seemingly cut by Eckhart, leaving the White Spring bunker cut off from the rest of the Enclave, and eventually the entire Appalachian Enclave, save for Modus, would die. So without communication, Raven Rock is likely sending out the nuclear keycards blindly, in hopes that the White Spring bunker can complete their mission. This would also explain the other Vertibots. The communication lines to the White Springs bunker were cut, and the only Enclave eyes in Appalachia, aside from the actual people in it, belonged to the Kovac Muldoon. However, that was only linked to Modus. Raven Rock wouldn't have any idea of what's going on in Appalachia, hence the Vertibots. They're reconnaissance drones. There's even an event in Fallout 76 that makes you target a survey Vertibot scanning the area. All the Vertibots in Fallout 76 are recon drones for the Enclave at Raven Rock, assessing the area and the condition of it. For what purpose? Who knows. Maybe they're planning an invasion. We know that there's already a lot of suspicious activity in West Virginia. Fishbones is likely an Enclave agent. The soldiers roaming the region could be Enclave as well. Hell, the description for the decryption mode in daily ops is disable Enclave radio interceptors that are intercepting Brotherhood transmissions. All of this points towards the Enclave watching Appalachia from the shadows. They're planning something, and I think the Vertibots are just another piece of the puzzle. I mean, they're not just going to lose what was meant to be the heart of their entire operation, that being the White Spring bunker, without attempting to reclaim it or at the very least uncover what happened to it. There's also the Brotherhood. The Enclave is intercepting their radio transmissions specifically. If the Enclave at Raven Rock, Mount Weather, or any other facility on the East Coast was proceeding with the original plan to re-establish control after the war, they need West Virginia. It was ground zero for their master plan. But the Brotherhood may be the only thing getting in the way of this at the moment, or maybe the Enclave is just still preparing. Either way, it makes sense that they would want to spy on the Brotherhood. They are the most powerful faction in the region. It may be possible for an alliance, but they should also prepare for war by analysing their tactics, equipment, and defences. Whatever the case, I don't think it makes sense for the Vertibots to be another random aspect of 76 with no explanation. We'll have to revisit them at some time. Whether it be next year or the year after, I'm sure it has something to do with the Enclave in some way or another.